The twin suns of planet Calira burned softly across the horizon, painting the sky with orange and violet light. The land stretched far and wide, covered in tall silver grass that shimmered like metal under the wind. For most travelers, this alien world was a place to avoid. Too wild, too unpredictable. But for Dr. Aaron Voss, a field medic from Earth, danger was just another word for challenge. He had come to Calira as part of a human relief mission. His task was simple: study alien biology, offer medical aid, and learn what he could about healing techniques for off-world species. But when the rest of his team left after an unexpected storm damaged their base, Aaron stayed behind. He had always believed that saving lives, no matter what species, was worth any risk. One evening, as he gathered herbs and samples near the glowing forest, he heard something strange, a soft growl followed by a weak cry. It was not the sound of any creature he had recorded before. His instincts told him to stay back, but his heart told him to check. Slowly, he walked toward the sound, keeping his medical scanner ready. The forest around him pulsed with faint blue lights from the plants, as if the world itself was breathing. He pushed aside a large leaf, and there she was, an alien woman lying on the ground, covered in dust and blood. Her body was sleek and elegant, her skin a pale shade of silver with faint stripes that shimmered under the moonlight. She had feline-like eyes, golden and sharp, and hair that flowed like ink down her shoulders. A deep wound ran across her side, and she was breathing fast. Aaron froze. He had seen hollows of her species before, Falerians known for their warrior pride and mistrust of outsiders. But he had never seen one up close, let alone injured like this. "Easy, you're hurt," Aaron said softly, lowering his scanner. The alien's eyes opened wider. Her pupils narrowed like a cat's, and she hissed weakly, trying to move away. Her voice came out in broken English, strange, accented, but understandable. "Don't touch me, human." Aaron raised both hands in peace. "I won't hurt you. I'm a medic. Let me help." She tried to lift her weapon, a short, curved blade, but her strength failed. Blood trickled from her wound, soaking into the dirt. Her breathing grew weaker with every second. Aaron didn't hesitate anymore. He knelt beside her and opened his medkit. The equipment hummed softly as he scanned the wound. The scanner beeped, showing internal bleeding and tissue damage. She would die if he didn't act fast. "All right, princess or not, you're getting patched up," he muttered. The alien didn't respond, only half conscious now. Aaron injected a stabilizer, cleaned the wound, and used a field regenerator to seal the torn flesh. The healing light shimmered softly against her skin. It wasn't perfect. His human tools weren't designed for alien biology, but it was enough to stop the bleeding. Minutes passed. Finally, her breathing slowed and her golden eyes focused on him again. She looked confused, as if trying to understand why a human would help her. "Why, you saved me?" she whispered. Aaron smiled faintly. "Because that's what I do." She blinked, still weak but clearly surprised. "Humans, strange," he chuckled. "You're not the first one to say that." Aaron stayed with her until the night deepened. The glowing plants brightened, casting gentle light around them. He could hear the distant roars of predators, but he didn't move. He built a small energy shield around their resting area and made a fire using local mineral stones. The alien woman, who he guessed might really be of royal blood from her markings and jewelry, kept staring at him with quiet curiosity. When she finally spoke again, her tone was softer. "My name, Elira, daughter of the Falerian High Matron." Aaron raised an eyebrow. "So I was right. You really are a princess." She tilted her head slightly, studying him. "And you, human?" "What name?" "Aaron Voss, Field Medic, Earth Colony Division." Elira's golden eyes glowed faintly. "You not warrior?" "No, just a healer," he replied, smiling. She looked thoughtful. "Strange. You smell like one who fights," Aaron laughed quietly. "I've fought plenty of diseases and disasters. That's enough battle for me." For a long moment they sat in silence. The air was filled with the gentle hum of alien life. Elira seemed calmer now, her breathing steady. But suddenly her expression changed. She looked at him seriously. "You saved me," she said slowly, "but now I owe you." Aaron shook his head. "No debts. Just heal and rest." But before he could say more, Elira moved closer. Her movements were still weak, but her eyes burned with strange determination. She leaned toward his shoulder and suddenly bit him hard enough to break the skin. "Ow, what the?" Aaron shouted, pulling back. Elira licked the wound gently, her golden eyes fixed on his. Now, you marked. Aaron blinked, confused. Marked? What do you mean, marked? She didn't answer. Her strength faded again, and she fell asleep beside the fire, leaving Aaron with a sore shoulder and 1,000 questions. He looked at the small bite mark. It glowed faintly, not bleeding but pulsing with a strange golden light as if reacting to something inside him. Great, he muttered. I heal her and she bites me. Perfect start to the day. Still, he didn't feel angry. There was something odd about the mark. Not painful, not dangerous. Almost warm. He decided to rest for the night and figure it out later. When dawn arrived, Aaron awoke to find Elira sitting near the fire, sharper and stronger. She was cleaning her blade and humming softly, a haunting tune that echoed through the forest. Her wounds were almost completely healed. You heal fast, Aaron said, stretching his sore shoulder. She glanced at him. Your medicine's strong, I feel alive. Glad to hear it, he said. Now maybe you can explain what that bite thing was. Elira looked at him with amusement. You really not know? Clearly not. She stood tall and graceful, her golden eyes gleaming. In my tribe, when a Falerian is saved from death, we mark the savior. Bite means protector. The one bitten becomes alpha to the tribe of the one who bit. Aaron stared at her. Wait, hold on. You're saying your people will think I'm their alpha? Elira smiled faintly. Yes, you carry my scent now. They will smell it. They will know. Aaron rubbed his temples. That's fantastic. So a human medic is now an alien tribe's leader because of a bite. She shrugged. That is the way of Falerians. He sighed, half amused, half nervous. They're not going to attack me for this, right? Elira's eyes softened. They will test you, but they will not kill you. If you show courage, they will follow. Aaron groaned quietly. Why do I get the feeling this just got complicated? Elira laughed, the sound soft but musical. Because it has, human. She walked toward the forest path, her movements now confident and strong. Then she turned back to him. Come, my people must see you. You saved their princess. Now you face their judgment. Aaron hesitated for a moment. He looked around at the alien world, the glowing plants, the twin suns rising in the mist, the mark still glowing faintly on his skin. Somewhere deep down he felt that his life was about to change in ways he could never imagine. He packed his medical kit, slung it over his shoulder, and followed Elira into the forest. The Falerian princess moved with silent grace through the tall silver grass. Every now and then she looked back at him, a small, knowing smile on her face. Aaron tried to stay calm, but his heart was racing. He was a healer, not a leader. Yet now, somehow, he was walking toward a tribe that might see him as something more. As the forest opened into a vast valley, Aaron saw them. Dozens of tall, cat-like figures standing near the edge of a crystal-blue river. Their armor shimmered under the light, their eyes sharp and glowing. When they saw Elira, a wave of excitement ran through the crowd. But then their eyes turned to him, and silence fell. Elira stepped forward and raised her hand. He healed me, she said loudly, her voice echoing. He saved my life, the Falerians murmured among themselves. One of the elders stepped forward, his fur streaked with gray, his eyes narrowing at Aaron. He carries your mark, the elder said slowly. Then he is Alpha, Aaron blinked. Wait, what? Already? The crowd dropped to one knee, heads bowed. Elira turned to him with a small smile. Welcome to my tribe, Alpha Aaron of Earth. Aaron stood there, mouth slightly open, trying to process everything. He had come to this world to study medicine, not to lead an alien tribe. But as the Falerians looked at him with respect and expectation, something inside him shifted. Maybe, just maybe, this was where he was meant to be. He took a deep breath, looked at Elira, and managed a nervous smile. Well, he said quietly, I guess I better not mess this up. Elira's golden eyes gleamed. Then don't, human, lead well, for now you are one of us. The valley hummed with the quiet energy of the Falerian tribe. Aaron Voss, still trying to digest the fact that he was now officially their alpha, stood slightly behind Elira. His shoulders ached where she had bitten him, the glowing mark still pulsing faintly. He had healed her, yes, but leading a tribe, that was something he had never imagined. The Falerians circled him slowly, their golden eyes observing every movement, every twitch of his body. Their ears were pointed and sensitive, picking up the smallest sound. Each one was tall, muscular, and feline-like, their striped fur glinting in the morning sunlight. Many bore scars of battles past, showing that their culture valued strength and survival. Aaron felt small and human in comparison, but he kept his hands visible and calm. Elira stepped forward, moving gracefully between him and the crowd. "He saved my life," she repeated, her voice strong and commanding. "The one I marked must guide us. He carries my mark, and now he is Alpha." Murmurs ran through the tribe. Some whispered among themselves, uncertain, skeptical, even suspicious of a human leading them. Others, mostly younger Falerians, tilted their heads curiously, impressed by the human who had gained their princess's trust. One of the elders, a tall male with silver streaks in his fur and eyes like molten gold, approached Arin. His fur was thick around his shoulders, and his claws were neatly trimmed but sharp enough to be deadly. "Human," he said slowly, his voice deep and resonant. "You carry the bite of our princess. This is not a symbol to take lightly. Are you prepared to guide us as Alpha?" Aaron swallowed hard. I don't know. I've never led a tribe before. I'm a healer. I help people survive, not command them." The elder tilted his head, studying him. "Healer, yes. But the Falerians value action, bravery, and wisdom. A true Alpha does not just lead in battle. He protects, guides, and earns respect. Are you willing to learn?" Aaron nodded. "Yes, I will do my best." The tribe fell silent for a moment. Then another Falerian stepped forward, a younger female, her stripes sharp and bright, her eyes curious. "If he is truly Alpha, he must know our ways. Will you walk with me, human, and learn?" Aaron looked at her and nodded again. "I'll follow." Elira's small smile reached her eyes. "Good. Then you start now." The first lessons were simple yet confusing to Aaron. The Falerians had a way of speaking with body language as much as with words. A flick of the tail could mean respect, warning, or challenge. A posture shift could indicate dominance or submission. Aaron had to pay attention constantly. One wrong move could offend the entire tribe. The younger Falerian, named Talira, guided him through their basic traditions. She showed him how they greeted one another, ears upright, eyes steady, and a small bow forward of the head. She taught him the importance of scent. The Falerians could smell emotions, intentions, and loyalty. Aaron had never realized how much his own emotions could be seen through smell. Nervousness, fear, or hesitation could betray him before he even spoke. "Focus," Talira said softly. "They can smell hesitation. If you want to be Alpha, show confidence. Even if you do not feel it yet, show it." Aaron nodded and tried to mimic her posture. He straightened his back, held his head high, and forced a calm expression. He could feel the tribe's eyes on him, watching for any sign of weakness. As the day progressed, Aaron learned more about Falerian customs. They had a strict hierarchy, but respect was earned through action and wisdom. Elders were revered, but they deferred to an Alpha who showed intelligence, fairness, and courage. Challenges were common, not necessarily fights, but tests of decision-making and leadership. Even small choices like how to organize hunting groups or settle disputes were observed carefully. Elira stayed close, helping him interpret the subtleties of their language and gestures. Sometimes she would nudge him gently, whispering a warning if he made a small mistake. Other times she would smile when he succeeded at something simple but meaningful, like calming a young warrior who had been angered by a minor disagreement. Slowly, Aaron began to feel that he might survive this challenge after all. But the tribe had more serious matters than teaching him manners. Scouts returned from the surrounding forests with urgent news. Another species, larger, more dangerous predators, had been sighted near their territory. The Falerians were known to fight fiercely to protect their land. Aaron realized immediately that being Alpha was not only about etiquette and learning customs. It could soon involve real danger. Elira turned to him, her golden eyes serious. "You see now, human? Leadership is more than words. We face threats from beyond our valley. How we respond will define if you are true Alpha." Aaron nodded. "I understand. But I don't know your ways well enough yet to command in battle." She smiled faintly. "Then you will learn, quickly." Aaron spent the next hours observing the warriors. He noted their speed, agility, and tactical instincts. Unlike humans, they did not rely on tools as much. Their strength, claws, and sharp senses made them lethal. But he also noticed patterns. Paths they took, strategies they used, and how they coordinated without speaking much. A human mind could complement their instincts, and he began formulating ideas. The elder who had spoken to him earlier returned, this time with a serious expression. "Tomorrow," he said, "we test you. The predators are near. You will help lead a defense. Will you be ready?" Aaron swallowed. "I will do my best," the elder nodded slowly. "Then rest. Learn what you can tonight. The tribe watches always." That night, Aaron sat near the fire with Elira and Talira. The stars above were unfamiliar, shining cold and bright across the alien sky. Elira leaned closer, studying him. "You are quiet," she said softly. "Do you fear our people?" Aaron shook his head. "Not fear, concern. I want to do right. I want to help. But I am human. I am not like you," she tilted her head. "Perhaps. But humans have something Falerians lack. Imagination, courage, and the will to heal even when others would fight. That is why you survive here." Aaron smiled faintly. "Thanks, I think." Elira's eyes sparkled. "You will learn fast, Alpha, and perhaps you will teach us too." Aaron felt warmth in her words. For the first time, he realized that being Alpha was not about being the strongest. It was about bridging worlds, earning trust and caring for those who looked to him. The next morning, the sun rose across the silver grasslands, the glowing plants lighting their way. Scouts returned quickly, more anxious than before. The predators were moving closer. The tribe looked to Aaron for guidance. He felt the weight of their eyes, the glowing bite mark on his shoulder reminding him of Elira's trust. Aaron took a deep breath. "We need a plan," he said firmly. "We'll use the terrain. The predators cannot move as quickly through the river valley. We'll create traps along the edges and guide them into the open. Everyone has a role. We act together," the tribe murmured, listening. Aaron noticed nods and small movements of approval. Even skeptics seemed to respect his calm, logical approach. Elira smiled faintly. "Good. You think like an alpha. For now." Aaron allowed himself a small grin. "For now? That's reassuring," she laughed softly. "Do not get comfortable, human. The real tests are ahead." Over the day, Aaron worked closely with the Falerians. He taught simple formations for defense, suggested clever ways to use natural traps and coordinated scouting. He moved among them, gaining a small measure of respect as he spoke with logic and reason, not authority. By evening, the predators had not yet arrived, but the tribe had prepared well. Aaron felt a strange mix of exhaustion and pride. He had not only survived a day as Alpha, but he had also begun to understand the depth of trust required. The Falerians were no longer just alien observers. They were counting on him. Elira sat beside him at night, her golden eyes reflecting the fire. "You are not human only," she whispered. "You are part of us now, we feel it. Your courage, your mind, it marks you as Alpha." Aaron touched the glowing bite mark on his shoulder. "I still feel like a stranger," he admitted. "Then learn," Elira said softly. "Learn our ways. Lead with heart. And you will not just survive. You will inspire." For the first time, Aaron realized that being Alpha was not about strength alone. It was about trust, intelligence, and compassion. And somehow, in the middle of a strange alien world, he felt a spark of hope. That humans could not only survive among the stars, but thrive, becoming a force of courage and healing. The Valley of the Falerians was quiet at first light, but the calm was deceptive. Aaron Voss, the human now called Alpha, stood atop a small ridge overlooking the silver grasslands. His eyes scanned the horizon, watching for any signs of movement. The glowing plants swayed gently in the morning breeze, casting long shadows across the field. He could hear the soft footfalls of Falerian scouts moving in formation below him. Their golden eyes were sharp, alert, and waiting for guidance. Aaron took a deep breath. He had survived the first days of learning their culture, understanding the language and earning small measures of respect. But today was different. Today, the tribe would face its first real test. The predators Elira had warned about were moving closer, and he would need to lead them. He adjusted his medkit on his shoulder, although he hoped he wouldn't need it immediately. His role as healer was still critical, but as Alpha, he also had to think like a strategist. "Are you ready, human?" Elira's voice was soft but firm behind him. She had joined the scouts, moving with fluid grace across the ridge. "I think so," Aaron admitted, glancing at her. "As ready as I'll ever be." She studied him, her golden eyes flicking over his stance, the way he held himself. "Remember, Alpha is not only strength. It is courage, wisdom, and trust. Your people will follow you if you show them these. Aaron nodded. Then let's see if they're willing to follow a human. The first signs of danger appeared mid-morning. Valyrian scouts returned panting and alert. Alpha, one of them called, a young male named Rhynar. The predators are approaching the southern ridge. They are faster than we expected. Aaron squinted at the horizon. There, through the shimmering grass, he could see the shapes moving. Large, hulking creatures with thick hides and glowing eyes hunting in packs. They were taller than any human, more agile than any Earth predator, and they moved with terrifying precision. All right, Aaron said, keeping his voice steady. We'll use the valley to our advantage. The river runs through the center, right? The predators can't move easily in water. We'll guide them toward the river and set up traps along the sides. Elira's eyes lit up. That is clever, human. Not just strong, but thinking like Alpha. Aaron gestured to the warriors. Divide into 2 groups. One group will lure the predators toward the river. The other will block their escape routes and prepare traps. Use the terrain. Remember, they rely on speed. We rely on strategy. The Valyrians murmured among themselves, but gradually, they began moving into position. Aaron noticed subtle signs of approval, tails flicking up, ears tilting forward, small but meaningful gestures that indicated the tribe's growing trust in him. As the predators neared, Aaron and Elira led the first group. He felt the familiar weight of responsibility pressing down on him. Every Valyrian warrior watched his movements closely, ready to follow his decisions. Aaron realized that a wrong step could cost lives, not just his but Elira's and the lives of the entire tribe. The predators came into view fully now, massive, horned beasts with jagged claws. Their eyes glowed a cold, greenish light, and their teeth gleamed as they hissed and snarled. Aaron took a deep breath. Stay calm, he whispered to Elira. We need to guide them, not fight head-on. Elira nodded. She moved beside him silently, her body low and ready to strike if needed. Your human's ideas. Strange but effective, she said quietly. Aaron nodded. That's what humans are good at. Thinking differently. The plan worked better than he had hoped. Using the tall silver grass, Aaron and the Valyrians created ambush points and obstacles. Predators ran toward the river, only to find themselves funneled into narrow paths lined with camouflaged pits and nets. The Valyrians attacked when necessary, but mostly they waited for Aaron's direction. He realized that his strategy was simple but effective. Humans were not as strong physically as Valyrians, but their minds could outsmart even the deadliest predators. The first predator stumbled into a trap, a net rising suddenly from the ground. Others hesitated, unsure of how to proceed. Aaron signaled the Valyrians to hold their positions, and slowly, the predators were cornered near the riverbank. The warriors' coordination impressed him. They moved like one organism, silent and precise, but waiting for his command made them stronger. Elira glanced at him, eyes shining. See, they trust you, human. They follow your mind, not just instinct. Aaron swallowed, feeling a rush of pride. He could do this. He could lead these alien warriors. The predators were smart, however, and one of the larger ones broke free from the traps. It lunged toward the river, heading straight for a group of younger warriors. Aaron didn't hesitate. He ran forward, waving his arms and shouting commands, directing the Valyrians to surround the creature. His voice carried authority, and the tribe moved as one. The predator stopped, confused by the unexpected human commands, and Elira leaped forward, using her claws to guide it toward a pit. The creature fell into the trap, and a cheer erupted from the Valyrians.
Aaron, breathing heavily, allowed himself a small smile.
They had succeeded. Together. Elira looked at him, admiration shining in her golden eyes. You acted well, human. Not just a healer, a true alpha. Aaron laughed, exhausted. I guess healing isn't the only thing humans can do. The rest of the day was spent securing the area and tending to minor injuries. Aaron helped the Valyrians with simple medical care, using his knowledge to treat scratches and bruises. The tribe began to see him not just as an outsider, but as someone who could protect them in both mind and body. Even Rhynar, who had been skeptical at first, gave him a nod of respect. That evening, Aaron sat by the fire with Elira and Talira. The predators had retreated, and the tribe was celebrating quietly. Elira leaned close to him. Today you proved yourself. But remember, Alpha, your trials are only beginning. The universe is vast and threats are always near. Aaron nodded, staring at the glowing mark on his shoulder. I know, but for the first time I feel like maybe I can handle it. Maybe humans can survive and even thrive in worlds like this. Talira smiled. You have earned trust, Alpha. The tribe listens because they see you care, not because you demand it. That is the way of leadership. Aaron looked at both of them, realizing the truth in her words. Leadership wasn't about dominance. It was about courage, intelligence, and compassion. Humans might not be the strongest physically, but their hearts and minds could inspire even the fiercest warriors. Elira placed her hand on his shoulder. You are learning fast, human. Soon you will not only lead but inspire, and when that time comes, the tribe will follow you without question. Aaron felt a strange warmth at her words. He had come to Kalira as a healer, a human from a distant planet hoping only to help and learn. But now he was something more. He was Alpha, a human leading a proud alien tribe, bridging worlds with courage and wisdom. For the first time, he allowed himself to imagine the possibilities. He could survive here. He could thrive. He could become more than he ever dreamed. And somehow he knew that this was only the beginning. The night settled around the valley, the twin moons rising above the horizon. Aaron looked at the glowing grass, the quiet Falerian fires, and Elira's golden eyes. He felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, but also a spark of hope. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, predators, rival tribes, and the tests of leadership that would define him. But for now he rested, knowing that humans with courage and cleverness could truly shine in the galaxy. The sun rose slowly over the silver grasslands of Kalira, casting long shadows across the valley. Aaron Voss, human and Alpha of the Falerian tribe, stood near the edge of the ridge watching the horizon. The quiet morning felt tense, almost as if the land itself was holding its breath. The predators from the previous day were gone, but Aaron knew danger was never far. Scouts had reported unusual movements near the eastern forest. Faster, smarter predators that seemed to hunt in packs with coordination. Aaron understood immediately. This would be his true test as Alpha. Not just guiding his people, but leading them in real combat. Elira appeared at his side, her golden eyes alert, ears twitching slightly. They come, she said softly. This will not be like yesterday. They are stronger, faster, smarter. Aaron nodded, feeling the familiar pulse of the bite mark on his shoulder. It was a reminder of trust, of responsibility, and of the role he now played. He was no longer just a healer. He was a leader, and lives depended on his decisions. The Falerians gathered in formation near the river valley. The warriors' fur glistened in the morning sun, their muscles taut and ready. Even the younger members of the tribe stood taller, confidence growing with each day they followed Aaron. Aaron addressed them, his voice steady. Today we face the predators together. Stay calm, move as we practiced. Trust each other and trust the plan. The river will slow their charge. Our traps will guide them, and I will be with you. The tribe watched him closely. Every small movement, every word mattered. Aaron realized that being Alpha wasn't about giving orders loudly. It was about confidence, presence, and clarity. Elira stepped beside him. They believe in you, human. Lead well. Aaron swallowed and nodded. Then let's do this. The predators appeared first as shadows on the horizon, moving like a storm across the grass. Aaron counted at least 10 of them, hulking beasts with jagged horns, clawed feet, and glowing green eyes. They ran with terrifying speed, their growls echoing across the valley. Positions, Aaron shouted. Lure them toward the river. Block the east exit. Traps ready. The Falerians moved like liquid, silent and precise. Aaron stayed slightly behind, observing and adjusting. When one predator tried to break through the western flank, he shouted a warning and guided a pair of warriors to intercept it. The strategy worked at first, but then one predator broke free from the traps entirely. It charged straight for a group of younger warriors, snarling loudly. Aaron didn't hesitate. He ran forward, waving his arms and shouting directions, positioning himself between the predator and the tribe. Elira leapt forward with incredible speed, her claws flashing. Together, Aaron and Elira guided the creature toward a pit trap hidden beneath a layer of silver grass. The predator fell in with a roar and the warriors cheered. Aaron exhaled, feeling a rush of adrenaline. This was real leadership, as not theory, not practice, life and death. and he had kept everyone alive, but the fight was far from over. 2 more predators approached from the eastern ridge, faster and smarter than the rest. Aaron noticed something alarming. They were coordinating, circling the valley, attempting to flank the tribe. "Elira now," he shouted.
We need to split their attention.
Elira nodded immediately. Using her agility and speed, she darted forward, leaping and striking at one predator, drawing it toward the traps near the river. Aaron moved alongside the other predators, signaling warriors to block escape routes and attack weak points. It was chaos, but controlled chaos. Aaron realized that humans, though physically weaker than Falerians, could think faster in complex situations. His strategies combined with Falerian instincts created a perfect balance. One predator lunged toward a trap he had not expected to fail, but Aaron reacted in time, pulling 2 warriors aside and redirecting the predator into a net. The tribe watched in awe. Even the skeptics, those who had doubted a human could lead them, now followed his commands without hesitation. The final predator, the largest of all, emerged from the shadows. Its eyes glowed with intelligence, not just instinct. It roared, shaking the ground beneath its feet, and charged directly at Aaron. Aaron froze for a moment, heart pounding. He had no weapon strong enough to face this beast head-on, but he remembered Elira's words. Leadership was not just about strength, it was about strategy and courage. He ran toward the predator, shouting and waving his arms, directing it toward the edge of the river where a trap had been prepared. The creature hesitated, confused by his audacity. Then Elira appeared, leaping from the side, claws aimed carefully. Together, human and princess manipulated the predator's movements. It fell into the final trap, roaring but contained. Aaron barely had time to breathe before the Falerians surrounded it, securing the area. Silence fell over the valley. The battle was over. The predators were either trapped or retreating. The Falerians gathered around Aaron, their expressions a mix of awe, respect, and admiration. Elira approached, her golden eyes shining with pride. "You led well, human. You thought, you acted, you protected. Today you proved your place as Alpha." Aaron wiped sweat from his brow. I just tried to keep everyone alive." Elira shook her head. "No, you did more. You inspired them. That is what an Alpha does," the tribe murmured in agreement. Even the elder who had first questioned him stepped forward. "You have faced the ultimate test," he said slowly, "and you have passed. You are Alpha not because of strength, but because of courage and wisdom. The tribe follows you." Aaron felt a mix of relief and pride. He had healed aliens, earned trust, and now led them in battle. He realized something important. Humans had a unique ability. They could adapt, think differently, and unite others. That was power in itself. That night, the tribe held a small celebration near the river. Fires burned brightly, casting dancing shadows across the silver grass. The younger Falerians laughed and played, and the warriors shared stories of the battle. Aaron sat with Elira and Talira, exhausted but content. "You are different, human," Talira said softly. "Not only because you survive, but because you make others survive too. That is why we follow you." Aaron nodded. "I never thought humans could lead aliens, but maybe this is our strength, to bring hope, guidance, and strategy where others cannot." Elira leaned closer, her head brushing his shoulder. "You have earned more than respect, Alpha. You have earned loyalty. That is rare even among Falerians." Aaron touched the glowing mark on his shoulder, remembering the moment she had bitten him to mark him as her protector. That simple act had set everything in motion: trust, leadership, and a bond that went beyond species. He realized that humans might be weaker physically, but they had minds that could plan, hearts that could inspire, and courage that could face any threat. Perhaps that was why Elira had bitten him in the first place, recognizing a human's potential, seeing the spark of leadership that no Falerian had expected. As the night deepened, Aaron looked at the valley, the stars reflected in the river, and the glowing Falerian fires. He felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, but also a spark of hope. This was more than survival. This was humans showing what they could do in a universe that underestimated them. He glanced at Elira. "We did well today," he said quietly. "Yes," she replied, her golden eyes soft. "But tomorrow will bring new tests. Challenges are endless, and you, human Alpha, must always be ready." Aaron smiled faintly, exhausted but determined. Then I will be ready. Humans don't give up easily. Elira laughed softly, her tone musical in the quiet night. No, you do not. That is why you inspire us. That is why you are Alpha. And for the first time, Aaron truly understood the meaning of his role. It was not just about being strong or clever or even brave. It was about guiding, protecting, and inspiring, and humans, despite their size and fragility compared to alien warriors, could do all that and more. The moonlight shimmered across the silver grass, and Aaron felt a quiet pride. He had faced the ultimate test, survived it, and earned the trust of a proud alien tribe. But he knew this was only the beginning. Greater challenges awaited, new threats would emerge, and his role as Alpha would demand more than he had yet imagined. But one thing was certain. Humans had a place in this galaxy, not just as visitors, but as leaders, healers, and protectors. The Valley of Kalira was quiet, but the peace was not fragile anymore. Under the twin suns, the Falerian tribe moved with confidence, their golden eyes sharp and alert. They had survived the predator attacks, and more importantly, they had followed a human, Aaron Voss, through fire and danger. The bite mark on his shoulder pulsed faintly, a reminder of the trust Elira had placed in him and the bond that had grown stronger each day. Aaron walked among the tribe, observing. The young warriors practiced maneuvers he had taught, the hunters checked traps along the river, and even the elders consulted him on strategies for trade with nearby tribes. The shift was clear. The Falerians had begun to see humans not as outsiders but as equals, capable of leadership, innovation, and compassion. Elira approached him, her golden eyes reflecting pride. You have changed things here, Alpha. The tribe respects you not because of the mark but because of your heart and mind. Aaron smiled faintly. I just try to help, but I didn't expect it to grow into this. Sometimes, Elira said softly, what we do for others becomes more than we imagine. You are part of our legacy now. The day began with a council meeting at the heart of the valley. The elders gathered around, their postures commanding but respectful. Aaron, as Alpha, sat beside Elira on a slightly raised platform. His human body felt small compared to the towering Falerians, but he had learned that true presence came from confidence and calm, not size. The first topic was trade with neighboring tribes. Historically, Falerians had avoided outsiders, viewing them as threats. But Aaron's presence and ideas had begun to change that. He suggested a cautious exchange of goods, medicinal herbs, hunting tools, and knowledge that could benefit both tribes without risking their safety. The elders listened carefully. Some were skeptical at first, but Aaron's calm explanation, supported by Elira, convinced them. Slowly, nods of agreement spread through the council. Even the oldest, most stubborn elder finally spoke. The human brings wisdom, not just strength. We will try this and see what comes of it. Aaron felt a spark of pride. This was more than leadership in battle. This was shaping the future of the tribe, showing that humans could contribute more than just technology. They could think strategically and guide with empathy. After the council, Aaron walked through the training grounds. The young Falerians ran drills using techniques he had suggested, combined with their natural agility and strength. He noticed one young male struggling with a maneuver. Try this, Aaron said calmly, demonstrating a subtle shift in movement that helped the boy balance better. The boy's eyes lit up and he repeated the motion perfectly.
Thank you, Alpha,
he exclaimed. Aaron chuckled. Humans learn from aliens and aliens learn from humans. That's how we grow stronger together. Even Elira smiled, clearly impressed by his patience and willingness to teach. You do not only lead, she whispered. You inspire. As the day continued, scouts returned with news of distant fires near the forest edge. Potential danger or opportunity, while it was unclear. Aaron immediately considered both. Perhaps these fires could threaten the tribe, but they could also offer a chance to show human ingenuity. He called a meeting with Elira and the elders. We need to investigate, but carefully. We cannot risk lives unnecessarily. I suggest we send a small team first, equipped with human sensors and communication devices to determine the cause. The elders nodded, approving the cautious plan. Elira added, and you will lead Alpha? Aaron looked at her, the weight of responsibility pressing on him. Yes, I will go, but only with a team I trust, and I trust this tribe. The Falerians prepared quickly, moving with their natural efficiency, and Arin led them toward the edge of the forest. The twin suns were beginning to set, casting long shadows and making the glowing plants shimmer eerily. As they approached, the smell of smoke became stronger. Arin scanned the area with human sensors, detecting multiple heat sources. They were small fires, likely from lightning strikes, but there was something more. Signs of creatures moving quickly around the flames. Predators? Arin whispered. Elira shook her head. No, not them. These are scavengers. They follow fire to hunt weak or frightened animals. Arin considered quickly. We can drive them back without harm, but we need coordination. He directed the warriors to create a perimeter, while he and Elira approached the fires carefully. Using human devices to emit light and sound signals, they guided the scavengers away from the tribe and surrounding area. The creatures, startled by the unfamiliar signals, fled deeper into the forest. The Falerians watched, impressed by the humans' cleverness. No one had used technology like this before. It was subtle, smart, and effective. After the task was complete, the tribe returned to the valley. Around the evening fires, the Falerians celebrated, sharing food and stories. Arin sat with Elira, feeling exhausted but content. You did well, Elira said softly. Not just in battle, not just in teaching, but in thinking beyond ourselves. That is what makes humans remarkable. Arin smiled, touching the bite mark on his shoulder. It all started with your trust, Elira. I wouldn't be here without it. She leaned closer, her golden eyes soft. And I would not be here without yours. We are stronger together. That is the legacy you are building, not just for humans or Falerians, but for both. Arin looked around at the tribe, seeing them happy, safe, and united. It was more than he had ever imagined. Humans could survive on alien worlds, yes, but they could also inspire, lead, and protect. That was their true strength. The night deepened, and Arin walked to the edge of the valley, looking at the horizon. The twin moons reflected on the river, and the glowing grass shimmered in the gentle breeze. He realized that he was no longer a visitor in this world. He was part of it. He was part of a new future, where humans and aliens could work together, trust each other, and thrive. The thought made him smile. Humans were not just survivors of Earth, they were leaders. Healers and innovators, capable of bridging worlds, inspiring loyalty, and creating alliances that no one could have imagined. Elira appeared beside him, silent and graceful. You have done more than survive, human. You have built a new legacy. Arin looked at her, the glowing mark on his shoulder still pulsing faintly. It's only the beginning, he said. There's so much more to do. Her golden eyes sparkled. Then we will face it together. Tribe and human, princess and alpha. Together we are stronger than anything that comes. Arin nodded, feeling the truth in her words. For the first time, he truly believed it. Humanity had a place in the galaxy, not just as explorers or settlers, but as leaders, healers, and protectors. And he, a single human, had begun a legacy that would last far beyond himself. The next morning, the tribe gathered for a formal ceremony. Elira presented Arin before the entire Falerian people. They bowed in respect, acknowledging his leadership, his courage, and his wisdom. Arin felt a surge of pride tempered by humility. He had earned this honor not through physical strength, but through empathy, intelligence, and determination. The elders spoke. Today we honor not only our princess, but the human who saved her and led us. Alpha Arin of Earth, you are part of our tribe and our legacy. The crowd cheered. The young warriors ran to shake his hand. The elders nodded in approval. And Elira placed a small ceremonial mark on his forehead, a symbol of unity. Trust and partnership. Arin touched it, feeling the warmth spread across his body. It was a reminder that humans could do more than survive on alien worlds. They could inspire, protect, and create new futures. And as he looked at the faces of the tribe, proud, strong, and loyal, he understood that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges, dangers, and opportunities. But humans with courage, intelligence, and heart could face anything. The bite mark on his shoulder pulsed once more, glowing softly in the moonlight. A symbol of trust, a symbol of leadership, a symbol of the new legacy he had created. And Alpha Arin Voss, human healer turned leader, smiled. He was ready for whatever came next.